All right. So jumping right into it, probably the biggest news of, I'd say either the beginning of this week, I think it was of course the expected cancellation of the rest of the Marvel properties on Netflix, which was Punisher and Jessica Jones. Punisher just had its second season, and now it's not going to have a third. And Jessica Jones will still come out with the third season, but that'll be it, and we'll get nothing more from Marvel on Netflix. But the series, or the seasons that are there, will be on Netflix for, I don't know how long, but I'm assuming that's because they have some kind of ownership to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing because it's the original network that aired it, because it's sort of maintained this asynchronous format for the longest amount of time, they're probably going to get to keep the rights to at least, play the content they already have.
Right.
So I do want to say, first of all, I actually covered this on my radio show back on Monday. So for anyone who's listening in the Bloomsburg area, you can listen to me there Mondays from 6 to 7 on 91.1 WBUQ, The Revolution. Just to sort of cross-promote there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might actually try to get these podcasts up there. So paste cross-promote a little bit. Gotta
cross-pollinate.
Meet that whole convergence model.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, it's not shocking to me in the slightest that either series was canceled. I think after what happened with Daredevil, what happened with Luke Cage, what happened with Iron Fist, it's not shocking in the slightest. Like, so I mean, Daredevil, I was never really a fan of it, but it had like this sort of universal fan support.
Mm-hmm.
With the third season being considered one of the best seasons of television, like really ever made. So, it's amazing to me that they canceled it initially. Like, I think a lot of people were shocked by that, but the fact that they've sort of continued on with that, the fact that they've sort of continued on with all of their series, it became less shocking as each series came to an end.
Yeah, well, we were expecting this. We were just waiting for the call and the death time. And as the story goes, because Disney is coming out with their Disney Plus streaming service, which is the Netflix for everything owned by Disney, so that includes Star Wars, Marvel, and everything else, basically.
Right.
I didn't read this anywhere officially, but it might be an okay assumption to make that Disney might have been raising the price of licensing the properties for Netflix to make new series. Not just that, but essentially if they have more Marvel shows coming out on Netflix, they view that as simply just advertising for Disney. Because, Disney owns the properties, and since Disney will be yanking it's like Star Wars, all the Marvel movies, and their television series from Netflix, they say, why are we going to advertise for this streaming service when they're yanking out all of this content from our platforms? So that's it, we're done.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if you heard the same thing about the clause in the contracts of each of those shows that I did. So again, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but apparently there's a clause in the contracts of each of the Marvel Netflix shows that essentially says no other streaming network can actually claim the right to use these characters. No actual service can claim to use these characters in live action portrayals if the show's abruptly canceled, like for, I think it's like a few years. Which is just sort of to, I guess, keep Disney from canceling. So, I mean, there must have been some motivation behind this whole thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But it sounds like Disney won't be able to use these characters on their streaming network, despite the popularity that we're sort of seeing with fans.
Yeah, that's a real shame, because I really liked the Daredevil they had. Charlie Cox, I think, is great, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. Yeah, I mean, unmatched. This man is
Well, you still haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse, have you?
No, I have not. Does he play him in that too?
No. So it's I'm trying to think of who it was. Someone famous. I'm like spacing out on who it was, but that was honestly like probably the most comic accurate Kingpin I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No, that was just an awesome movie. So see that.
I was gonna say this man is intense, but Charlie Cox is also pretty intense, especially their end fight in season 3.
Right.
Really good stuff. The fights in it are great. The Karen things, not so much.
Yeah. Again, I haven't watched that far into it. But so I will say, I think John Bernthal was like the perfect Punisher.
Yeah, he was.
I loved Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. I still think it's probably the best Marvel Netflix shows. I know I'm probably in the minority on that. But, you know, I love Kristen Ritter. She is from Bloomsburg, so it's kind of cool to have that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a shame to see some of these shows go, but I'm anxious to see what Disney does with them. Or does with it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we know they're making a few Star Wars streaming series, which we'll get to a little bit about one of those later. But I assume they'll make a few Marvel ones. I really want to see Ghost Rider. Come on, he's underused. They had the one Robbie Reyes version in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which isn't even the iconic one, and then that was it.
Right.
So it's time for this sleeping giant to wake up, come back from hell.